As the film begins, a man named Kevin emerges from the water after a swim. He looks around, bewildered, and says, "No, this is not my world. My world is somewhere else. Where is it? I know, and I have hope that I will reach my world." With these words, Kevin suddenly vanishes. The scene shifts to Kevin's normal world. He is sitting in a bar, visibly upset, having lost all his money in the stock market. As he drowns his sorrows, a girl named Molly approaches and sits next to him. She tries to engage him in conversation, saying, "What happened? You look sad." Kevin responds curtly, "Yes, I am very upset. Please go away." Molly, undeterred by Kevin's dismissal, says, "No, I will sit next to you because I like sad people. Besides, I didn't come here just for you. I made a bet with my friend to fix your mood." Reluctantly, Kevin allows her to stay, and as they talk, he begins to appreciate Molly's company. Their conversations lead to a deep friendship, which eventually blossoms into love. After a while, they get married. Time passes, and Kevin and Molly are happy together, enjoying their life as a couple. However, their happiness is short-lived. One day, while returning home from the office, Kevin is involved in a severe accident when his car collides with a truck. When Kevin regains consciousness, he finds himself on an empty road, completely unscathed. Confused, he looks around and sees no one except an old man. There are no other people or traffic in sight. Kevin, disoriented, asks the old man, "I had an accident. Where is my car? My phone?" The old man gazes at Kevin with a calm expression, ready to reveal a deeper truth about his situation. "I have to call my wife," Kevin insists, desperate to make contact. The old man replies calmly, "You won't be able to do that, Kevin, because you are in another world. At the time of the accident, I took you out of there and brought you here." The old man then introduces himself, "I am a benefactor. My job is to shift people from one world to another." He gestures for Kevin to follow him to a nearby restaurant. Kevin, still in disbelief, says, "Stop kidding me. I want to go back to my world. Why did you bring me here?" The benefactor responds, "Yes, I brought you into this world so that you can become a shifter like me. Your job will be to bring people from the real world who are sad and angry to this world." Kevin shakes his head in disbelief. "I do not believe that this is possible. Give me proof." Without a word, the benefactor presses a code on the watch strapped to his wrist. Instantly, the girl sitting nearby vanishes into thin air. Stunned and terrified, Kevin steps back. "What have you done? Where did she go?" The benefactor answers calmly, "She has been shifted back to her world. This is the power you will have as a shifter. You can help those who are lost and despairing, like you once were." Kevin, still reeling from the shock, realizing that his life has irrevocably changed. Kevin, desperate, says to the benefactor, "I don't want to be a shifter. Please send me back to my wife." The benefactor replies firmly, "No. Until you become a shifter, you will stay here." Kevin, resolute in his decision, responds, "I will not bring anyone from the real world here." Kevin begins praying to God for deliverance, hoping for a miracle to return him to his world. The benefactor becomes angry and leaves him. Left alone, Kevin decides to explore this strange world. He discovers that its inhabitants are consumed by anger and frenzy. People avoid speaking to one another, and violence is rampant. Families are almost non-existent. As time passes, Kevin endures 5 harsh years in this desolate place. He learns to survive amidst the chaos, but remains steadfast in his refusal to become a shifter. News continues to circulate about the benefactor's offer to Kevin and his refusal to become a shifter. This story makes Kevin a well-known figure in this world, symbolizing resistance against the benefactor's control. Despite the passage of time and the hardships he faces, Kevin clings to the hope of one day reuniting with his wife. Even as he navigates the brutal reality of this new existence, Kevin continued his quest to find a shifter who could help him return to his wife, but he had not succeeded. During his time in this harsh world, he befriended a man named Gabriel. In an act of defiance and hope, Kevin wrote a Bible for Gabriel, despite it being forbidden. One day, Kevin learned about a person who had the technology to view people from the real world. Desperate to see his wife, Kevin sought out this individual. After numerous attempts, he finally succeeded and was able to see his wife through the device. Overcome with emotion, Kevin pleaded, "I want to go back to my wife. Tell me her location." The man shook his head and replied, "I can't do that. All I can do is show you your wife." Heartbroken but determined, Kevin left the place. Outside, he found himself amidst a large protest. People were standing up against the oppressive conditions of this world. Kevin and his friend Gabriel joined the protesters. The atmosphere was tense as police lined up in front of them. Suddenly, one of the protesters broke away and vanished into thin air. The police, perceiving a threat, opened fire on the crowd. Chaos ensued as people scattered in panic. Kevin and Gabriel took cover in a nearby building. Breathing heavily, Kevin turned to Gabriel and said, "That man was able to escape because he was a shifter." Gabriel nodded, eyes wide with realization. "If there are shifters here, maybe there's still a way for you to get back to your wife." Kevin's resolve hardened. "We need to find that shifter. It's my only chance." In a moment of frustration, Gabriel bursts out, "Just give up your efforts. You won't find a shifter, and you won't escape from here." Undeterred by Gabriel's discouragement, Kevin decides to distract himself by going to a shopping mall. As he browses through the aisles, he notices a young boy who momentarily disappears and then reappears before his eyes. The sight triggers painful memories of Kevin's own son, who vanished in a similar manner in a shopping mall back in his world. Overwhelmed by grief, Kevin's sadness deepens. Amidst his melancholy, Kevin encounters a man named Nadir in the mall. Nadir recognizes Kevin by his real name and offers him a kind gesture, saying, "I know you're hungry. You're welcome to come to my house and eat." Nadir, unlike many others in this world, still maintains a semblance of family life, with a wife and 2 daughters. Grateful for the invitation and touched by Nadir's compassion, Kevin accepts. As they make their way to Nadir's home, Kevin finds solace in the company of someone who remembers aspects of his previous life. Nadir acknowledges that Kevin still retains memories of his past, including the Bible and other elements from the world they've forgotten. In Nadir's home, amidst the warmth of family and the aroma of food, Kevin finds a brief respite from the turmoil of his current existence. Despite the challenges he faces, Kevin is reminded that moments of kindness and connection still exist in this world, offering him a glimmer of hope amidst the darkness. As Kevin considers Nadir's offer to teach his daughters what he remembers from his past life, alarms suddenly blare throughout the area. They hurriedly switch on the news and learn that the benefactor, absent from this world for many years, is set to return tomorrow. This revelation reignites Kevin's hope of returning to his world. With renewed determination, Kevin rushes to the man with the technology to locate people in the real world. He desperately asks for Molly's location, but the man explains that Kevin will need a special shifter bracelet to access that information. However, only the benefactor possesses such a bracelet. If Kevin wants to obtain it, he must confront the benefactor directly. In a risky move, Kevin decides to arm himself with a gun borrowed from Gabriel, fully aware of the illegal nature of firearms in this world. Despite the dangers and moral implications, Kevin knows that this may be his only chance to obtain the shifter bracelet and return to his beloved wife. With Gabriel by his side, Kevin prepares himself for the perilous task ahead, driven by his unwavering desire to reunite with Molly and escape from the oppressive grasp of this world's benefactor. As morning dawned, the benefactor made his long-awaited return to this world. The streets were teeming with tight police security, and crowds of people clamored to catch a glimpse of him, revering him as their deity. However, Kevin harbored no such reverence. Determined to confront the benefactor and armed with the gun borrowed from Gabriel, he stealthily made his way to the benefactor's restaurant, evading the police hot on his trail. Just as Kevin prepared to confront the benefactor suddenly vanished upon seeing the gun in Kevin's hand. In the ensuing chaos, the police realized Kevin's intent and opened fire on him from outside the restaurant. Kevin managed to find cover, but the realization dawned on him that he might never be able to reunite with his wife. In his moment of despair, the benefactor appeared before him, his words cutting through the turmoil. "How many years ago I offered you the opportunity to become a shifter, but you did not heed my words," he said. That's why you're filled with regret today. If only you had listened, you would not be crying here. Instead, you could have been at home or become their savior. Kevin's heart sank as he realized the gravity of his decision. Perhaps if he had accepted the benefactor's offer, he could have changed the course of his fate. But now, as he faced the consequences of his actions, he understood that some opportunities, once lost, could never be regained. I don't want to become anyone's savior, Kevin declares firmly. I just want to go home to my wife, Molly. The benefactor's stern gaze falls on Kevin as he questions, "Where did you get the gun from? Did Gabriel give you this?" In an instant, Gabriel is teleported into the room through the benefactor's shifter machine. The benefactor scolds Gabriel for his actions before turning his attention back to Kevin. "What did you think?" the benefactor asks, his voice tinged with reproach. "Did you think I don't know what's going on here?" With those words, he disappears, leaving Kevin and Gabriel in shock. Outside the restaurant, chaos ensues as the police, alerted to Kevin's presence, open fire. A bullet strikes Gabriel, and he falls, succumbing to his injuries. Kevin, filled with grief and fear, hides behind a nearby sofa, managing to escape in the confusion. As he flees, Kevin notices something in Gabriel's hand, the shifter's bracelet. Realization dawns upon him that his friend had kept his true identity as a shifter a secret. With the bracelet in his possession, Kevin now has the means to locate Molly and finally reunite with her. With newfound determination, Kevin sets out on his journey, his heart heavy with the loss of his friend Gabriel, but filled with hope for the chance to be with Molly once again. As Kevin activates Gabriel's device and dials in the codes, he feels the familiar sensation of teleportation enveloping him. When he arrives in the new world, he recognizes it immediately. It's not his own, but he's been here before. Undeterred, he punches in another set of codes, determined to continue his search for Molly. In the next world, Kevin finds himself plummeting into water, mirroring the opening scene of the movie. Despite the familiarity, he knows this isn't his world. Yet, fueled by hope and determination, he perseveres, inputting more codes to transport himself once again. This time, Kevin materializes in what appears to be a mental hospital, surrounded by various versions of Dr. Gabriel, all fixated on him. Sensing danger, Kevin quickly navigates through the labyrinth of twisted realities. On the other side, he encounters a distraught girl, her tear-streaked face hauntingly familiar. She accuses him, "My life has become insane because of you. Remember? You were the one who asked the benefactor to disappear me. He teleported me, and I'm still here." Kevin is struck by a wave of guilt and realization. He remembers the girl now. She's a victim of his actions, trapped in this fractured reality because of him. As the weight of his choices sinks in, Kevin is consumed by remorse and the desperate need to make things right. Determined to undo the harm he's caused, Kevin resolves to find a way to free the girl and confront the consequences of his decisions. Kevin, reeling from the encounter with Tina and the onslaught of variants of Gabriel, desperately tries to comprehend his situation. As he apologizes to Tina for inadvertently causing her suffering, the variants of Gabriel close in on him, their intentions clear. In a last-ditch effort to escape, Kevin frantically inputs codes into his device, teleporting himself to yet another world. Here, he encounters a second version of himself, bewildered by his sudden appearance. Before Kevin can fully explain, the other man notices the device in Kevin's hand and demands to know its origin. Refusing to relinquish the device, Kevin is resolved to use it to find Molly, no matter the cost. As the other man prepares to take action, Kevin swiftly inputs a sequence of codes, transporting himself back to the world where the benefactor resides. Arriving at Nadir's house, Kevin is greeted by the sight of Nadir injured by police gunfire. Nadir, filled with hope for escape, departs, leaving Kevin to contemplate his own fate. Determined to find Molly, Kevin seeks out the man with the technology to locate her. However, his efforts are thwarted when the police, having tracked him down, arrive at the scene. With time running out and his options dwindling, Kevin faces yet another obstacle in his quest to reunite with his wife. As the police close in on him, Kevin's companion urgently whispers Molly's location code to him. With a surge of determination, Kevin swiftly inputs the code into his device and transports himself to his real world just moments before the police can apprehend him. Meanwhile, Molly, who happens to be in the mall at that moment, is taken aback to see Kevin after so many years. Anger and hurt simmer beneath her surprise as she confronts him, accusing him of abandoning her. However, Kevin quickly reassures her, showing her his wedding ring and earnestly declaring his enduring love and longing for her during their time apart. Torn between her lingering feelings for Kevin and the reality of her current life, Molly delivers a crushing blow, revealing that she is now married. Kevin's heart breaks as he pleads with her not to turn him away, professing his inability to live without her. In a moment of vulnerability, Molly offers Kevin a glimmer of hope, presenting him with a condition. If he truly wants to be with her, he must find their lost child and reunite their family. With tears in his eyes, Kevin solemnly accepts her condition, understanding that this is his chance to make amends and rebuild their shattered lives together. As Kevin finds himself back in his world, he faces the wrath of the benefactor, who is seething with anger. The benefactor confronts Kevin, accusing him of thinking he can escape without consequence for his actions. Kevin remains silent, his demeanor betraying no sign of fear or remorse. The benefactor presents Kevin with two options, both laden with weighty implications. The first option is to return Kevin to his old life, to reunite him with Molly, while the second option involves sending the girl, whom the benefactor had previously sent to the mental asylum because of Kevin, back to her own life. Unbeknownst to Kevin, the benefactor is testing him, probing his character and morality in a world where selfishness reigns supreme. In this world, where everyone has become consumed by their own desires, the benefactor seeks to discern whether Kevin is different, whether he possesses the capacity for selflessness and compassion. Caught in the midst of the benefactor's test, Kevin must make a choice that will not only determine his fate, but also reveal the true essence of his character. As he weighs his options, Kevin grapples with the weight of his past actions and the potential consequences of his decisions in this unforgiving world of selfishness and manipulation. In a surprising turn of events, Kevin defies the benefactor's expectations and chooses to send Tina back to her previous life instead of returning to his own. Enraged by Kevin's unexpected decision, the benefactor shoots him in a fit of anger. As Kevin's consciousness fades, he awakens in a new world, standing near a bar. Intrigued, he enters the bar and finds Molly, his wife, sitting inside. Seizing the opportunity, Kevin approaches her and inquires about her apparent distress. Molly, tired from an 18-hour shift, expresses her need to go home. As they converse, Molly receives a call from her daughter, revealing that she is married in this world. Despite the revelation, Kevin finds solace in the fact that Molly is not living with her husband. Determined to reconnect with her, Kevin befriends Molly and invites her for tea. Over time, their friendship blossoms into love, and Kevin and Molly eventually get married. Despite knowing that this world isn't his own, Kevin finds comfort in the fact that he has Molly by his side. As they embark on a new chapter together, Kevin reflects on his journey and concludes that, despite the differences, he is willing to adjust and find happiness in this world as long as he has Molly. With their love prevailing against all odds, the movie concludes with Kevin and Molly embracing their newfound happiness and starting afresh in a world where they have each other.